A lot of people start what they call a side hustle, and then they decide, I want it to be a fully fledged business. Do I need an ABN? What do I need to do? Well, I'm here to tell you today how you can convert your side hustle into a business. And the first thing you need to work out is, are you already running a business? And this comes down to the age-old debate of business versus hobby. And the tricky part with this is there's not one hard and fast rule to determine that you're now running a business. But the fact that you're even thinking about wanting it to be a full business might lean you more towards that side. So let's have a look at some of these things that the ATO talk about when they're trying to determine is it a business or as a hobby. So we need to look like, have you actually started? What are you trying to do to get started? Are you looking at a significant commercial purpose? So are you doing this with the intention to make a profit is a big question. And that is one of the biggest things that I think determines business versus hobby is, are you doing it with the idea of making a profit, which a lot of the time gets a big tick. Yes, you are. The next one, is it carried out in a manner that is characteristic of the industry? Are you doing similar things to businesses in that same industry? The next one is it being done on a repetitive basis, or can it be repeated? A great example of this for my audience is where I have a lot of people that do online selling of their goods. Now, if you're selling stuff around the house, you can't repeat this forever because you're going to run out of stuff. But if you're starting to buy stuff from op shops, for instance, you're starting to do it and it can be repeated, and therefore you might tick this box. The next one, is it planned, organized, and carried on a business-like matter? So the fact that you're starting to talk about it as a business and you're starting thinking about it like that, might you move you more into this one? Is it of sufficient size, scale, and permanency to generate a profit? And is it not more properly described as a hobby, recreation, or sporting activity? Since there's a range of different categories there, but the fact that you're wanting to turn your side hustle into a business is likely meaning you're past the hobby stage and you are now a business. What does that mean though? Well, the first thing you need to do is get an ABN. Now you're going to need to decide on your business structure. If you haven't already, I've done quite a few videos talking about business structure. I'll link them up above. But once you decide on this, you need to get an ABN. Now the great thing is to get an ABN is actually free if you use the government websites. I'll have them up here on the screen so you can see what they look like. You can go through, apply for an ABN, and normally you'll get that ABN back within minutes. It's a really quick process, and you now have what you need to start your business. If you do end up on another site that's saying it's going to charge you money, they're probably just a third party that's trying to make some money off you, but it doesn't mean they're not legitimate. It just means that you might be paying someone else for something you could do yourself. However, obviously, if you get stuck, make sure you either go to someone that helps with this, or maybe even speak to your tax agent because they'll be able to assist with this process. Once you have your ABN, then you can put this on your invoices. You can give it to anyone that needs to know about your business to verify its identity, verify who it belongs to, and also verify details such as if you're registered for GST. I do have a whole course on how to start a business. The link is in the description of the video where I do go through details of ABN applications, of picking your structuring, and a lot more detail about how to get your business started. One of the other key things that you're going to need to decide on is how you're going to track things. Because when you're moving from a side hustle into a business, your income and your expenses are likely going to be done at a larger scale, and therefore it's important that you're on top of this from an early stage. So there are multiple options and everyone needs to do what works best for them. It's what I always tell clients. You need to do the method that works for you, not works for anyone else. But the two main options that people will typically go for is, do they use some type of spreadsheet, whether that be Excel, whether it's Google Sheets, or are they going to look into some kind of accounting software such as Xero or MyOb or QuickBooks? Now, my recommendation is understand where you're trying to take this business in the long term and set your record keeping up to match that. And with the caveat that you need to also match your own skill set. So if this is something that you don't think is ever going to become huge, it's not going to be complex, maybe you're not doing invoicing and you just got a few transactions coming through, maybe a spreadsheet's better suited to you. But maybe you want to take this business further and you're going to be invoicing people and you're going to be doing payroll and you want to do lots of reporting. Well, then obviously accounting software makes much more sense. Now, my personal recommendation on accounting software is always Xero. I find it is the easiest option for people to learn, and I find it has all the features you would need for a small business and a growing business as well. Now, the great thing is if you do want to join Xero, I do have a link in the description to this video where you can get quite a great discount over a number of months. So if you are thinking about joining up to Xero, then make sure you head down there and join up via that link. It will definitely help you out. The big thing when you're using accounting software is you want to make sure you're using the features that work for you. You don't have to use everything. I've seen people try and make it way too complex in the early days and they're just doing way too much work, and they could have definitely cut some corners and achieved the same result. So understand what you're trying to achieve out of it in the long term. Once you've kind of got your ABN and you've got your tracking, then it's all about getting the word out there. You need to tell people about your business and you need to have a solid marketing and promotion plan. How are you actually going to promote this business to other people? Because if you're wanting this to become a fully fledged business, then people need to know about it. But if people don't know about it, no revenue comes through, and therefore you can never grow the business. So make sure you're understanding how do people in your industry typically attract customers, and what can you do that's unique as well to go on top of that to attract more customers. You need to start thinking about what is your product offering, what is your service offering, how does that differentiate, why should someone come to you as a business versus going to one of your competitors? Because now you're in business, you have competitors. No matter what industry you're in, there's going to be others doing something similar. So you're going to need to work out what differentiates you. How can you deliver a really high quality service? I think my biggest thing with any kind of marketing activity is have a plan, but don't spam. You don't want to just be spamming out things that aren't of value. Look at how I've approached growing my own business. I put out valuable content that I hope will help people. In the long run, has actually grown my business. But I'm not just out there being like, come to me, come to me, come to me, because I don't think that approach works in a modern world where there's someone else that's willing to provide some value versus you that's just trying to spam and just trying to make that sale on the first meet. I think this should give you the basic tools that you need to convert your side hustle into a business. And you might need to go further into some of these topics to better understand them. I've got lots of videos on my channel that can help. But one of them that's coming right up next is about Zero and some of my top tips on how you can get the most out of your Zero file and actually use it to help grow your business. Thanks for watching this one, and I look forward to seeing you over there.